Hi, I'm Mark. I currently don't have a name for this YouTube channel yet, but right now I just want to talk about what I think the canon outcomes will be in the Elder Scrolls 6 and what my predictions of that will be. So let's just get to it, and we'll start off with the main quest. Not really any choice to happen in the main quest. Alduin dies. I think it's canon that obviously happens. You know, all the little side quests will happen too, you know, like Dark Brotherhood, College of Winterhold, and the companions. The one that really matters is the Dark Brotherhood, and I guess the Thieves Guild, because you're bringing that back to existence, but definitely Dark Brotherhood because that means that the Emperor is killed at the end of it. But I don't think it's necessarily canon the Dragonborn did it. I just think that the Emperor does die, regardless of whether the Dragonborn was in the Dark Brotherhood or not. Even if they completely sided against the Dark Brotherhood by being part of the Penitus Oculatus. I'm not from Cyrodiil. I can't pronounce everything correctly. I actually pronounce very little correctly. But anyway, my hair will behave, which it never does. What have we got next? Oh yeah, Paarthurnax. That is a main story kind of choice that you have. You can choose to not kill Paarthurnax and just leave the little quest in your log the whole time. Which I hated as a kid. I hated that, you know, you couldn't just complete it by not killing him. So I would kill him as a kid. But then again, I also was a Stormcloak as a kid, so maybe I was just a bit more bloodthirsty and evil. Now as an adult, I just leave Paarthurnax alone. I think in Elder Scrolls 6 there will be a rumor that you hear of, like, oh, if you go to the highest mountain, you know, at the border of Skyrim from Hammerfell, which is probably where Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be set, they'll be like, oh, go to the Hrothgarian mountains, and if you look over to High Hrothgar, the throat of the world, you might just see the wings of the dragon Paarthurnax. In game, you probably don't see that, you know, because it's too far away or whatever, but it'd be a cool rumor, because then people could speculate on whether Paarthurnax lived or died, or, you know, what happened with that. Next is Dawnguard. I think that's another kind of inconsequential one, but it has a big deal with the sun turning red to happen. I think that will be a case of some people going like, oh, I swear I saw the sun, you know, turn black and red, and, you know, the sky went dark and it was horrifying and evil. But some people might say, oh, that never happened, you know, I never saw that, it was never recorded. Some people might say it was the work of Alduin, because, you know, he could turn the sky dark and evil, and he can make meteors come down. So that could be up to, like, interpretation too, like, was it Auriel's bow? Because I believe you can actually shoot the blood arrows even if you part of the Dawnguard for a while, especially during the main quest, where you go to see Volerica. You're given the option to become a vampire. So I think that'll be more of a rumor of like, oh no, I swear it happened, or maybe it was like locked to certain regions or whatever. So like they'll argue that, yeah, I saw it right over Solitude. And some people might say that it was just, you know, an eclipse, and, you know, people should stop acting up about it, because that happens all the time when you've got 2 moons. Well, 3 if you include the necromancers. Then we got the Dragonborn story. I think this is a very big deal, because it's about what happened to the Dragonborn at the end of the Dragonborn DLC. Personally, I actually think that the Dragonborn is obviously going to disappear. We know that. But I think there could be 2 choices of where they go with the lore and the rumours. One could be that the Dragonborn went with Hermaeus Mora to Apocrypha, because, you know, he becomes canonically the servant of Hermaeus Mora. The other could be that people think that he's gone to Sovngarde, because obviously he's been there in person, and his soul, by default, is Akatosh's belonging, you know, is Akatosh's property. And arguably Shaw's as well, because, you know, they often call the Dragonborn a Shezarine, or a product of Shore. My hair is sticking up. But so some people might say that it was too apocryphal, some people might say that it's too Sovngarde. Either way, I think I'd be happy with just not knowing and just having people's speculation on it. But then it could give, good players a bit of hope, and it can also give players who'd never completed Dragonborn's story a bit of hope too. Some people might say he was last seen on Solstheim, but realistically, the Dragonborn was a stealth archer, so he was last seen like never. Especially by his enemies and his probably his wife, unless he was coming to collect some coin for them from the shop. And this, I've actually saved this last bit of rambling until last, because I actually think it's, to me, the most interesting of the Civil War. Who wins the Civil War? And I think that neither side and both sides could be argued to be won. So when NPCs are saying like, oh, no, the Stormcloaks really won because, they took all this land, and they'll say the places that the Stormcloaks and Imperials could have taken, and you could say that, well, actually the army took these holds at different times after Skyrim is supposedly happened. Because then no one's around to actually confirm or deny, like, oh, well, with the Dragonborn not around, the Stormcloaks actually had a rise up after Ulfric died, and the Empire, doubled down its forces after Tullius died. But what I actually think, which links into the Dark Brotherhood quest, is that the canon will be that Ulfric and Tullius both die during the war, because it's said that it's a season unending, so the war could kind of continue even if one of them does die or both of them die. But once the Emperor is murdered, I think that'll kind of cause a spark when there's a new Emperor for all of Skyrim to unite under the new Empire, the new Emperor, against the Thalmor. Because even in the Mage's College quest, the College of Winterhold quest, you are fighting the Thalmor. In the main quest, you're fighting the Thalmor. In My Time of Need, that's about the Alikir warriors. They're fighting the Thalmor in Hammerfell, and they've come to get Sadia because she betrayed Hammerfell to the Thalmor. And there's a lot of kind of anti-Thalmor stuff. Collecting Wuthrad, the shards of Wuthrad in the Companions, is even anti-Thalmor because it, does extra damage to elves. Collecting the blood for the puzzle box and all that sort of stuff is anti-elf, and I think it's going to have like a huge kind of build up to everyone wants to destroy the Thalmor, because the Thalmor want to maybe want to unmake the world and take over and return it to chaos, basically, before creation. But yeah, this isn't the best structured video. I hate videos where people are just rambling without a script. My notes are literally just main quest, Paarthurnax, Dawnguard, Dragonborn, and then Civil War. That is the entirety of my notes that I've made. I've literally just sat down and started recording this. Anyway, I hope you have a nice day. Thanks for watching if you did. And I'll leave you to it. See ya.